Alright, welcome back everybody. Welcome any new subscribers. I think the GoPros are fixed, so I think we can actually make a video this time and not that lame ass shit we put out last time. This is Jimmy's buggy. I'm working on it for him. It's not because he doesn't have the skills to do it. He fixes shit all the time for his work. He just don't got the knowledge. So, and plus he don't feel like coming down here to fix his shit when we could be driving this shit. So, right. I got the hubs, front and rear, took apart. Got the bearings all out. You see that, Jimmy? Yeah, I know you see that shit. Squeaky, squeaky. So that's all froze up. That's not too bad, but it's tight. This is tight as hell. Tight as hell in there. Alright, so how's the back? Well, these things are tight as hell too. So this thing still runs good, dog. This shit's all messed up, but it still runs good. Alright, so we're gonna put some new bearings. I got the bearings for these. I gotta check and see if these bearings got the hold on a second, let me grab one. These bearings, well, not necessarily that skanky looking one. It's brand new, it's just got shit on it. These, you see that little lip? For some reason, Losi felt they need to put that little lip on there. I guess so. You got to pay $12 for 2 of these goddamn things out or something. I don't know. I got to see if the place I get these at, TRBRC bearings. Yep, trbRC.com. Or I get them online. They end up costing about, I usually order 20 at a time, so that way you get a little discount. So it ends up like $1 a piece. So, which ain't bad. Especially if you go through the damn things. So, I got all the bearings for this. I just got to make sure that all these diff bearings don't have this damn lip on them. Because I only got 5 of them. And I need them for mine too. I like Jimmy, but I don't like his ass that much. Alright, so let's get on with this. Alright, I pulled this off to find out why it's so freaking tight. The pin fits in there nice and snug. Not snug, but good. So, I mean, it spins perfectly on the pin. But it also had 3 shims in here so you can adjust it, move it a little forward, move it a little back. I don't know. Just put the shit wherever you feel like it, and if it runs good, you're good. All right, these are it right here. There's 3 of them. Yep, 3 of them. There's 2, 3. So I'm going to sand this down a little bit so it gives a little more room. And then I'm not going to tighten this up too much. Let's see how that does. All right, when I took this apart, it had the 3 shims all here on the back side. I'm going to move 2 shims, 1 shim, so that way it'll extend the wheelbase. I mean, it's just minute, but I don't know. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it don't. But that's what we're going to do. So let's get that done and see what we got. I did put 2 spacers up front, 1 in the back. It's still got a little bind to it. So it's not this slipping on the rod. It's obviously these pushing against it. So I'm going to sand this down a little bit more. One of these, I don't know which one, probably this one. Or whatever. But, because this should just fall, man. If that shit ain't falling, there's a problem. Right. Alright. That's a little better. A little better than this one. Yeah, so we're going to make the other one like this one. I think we're good to go. Alright, so we're going to pull the diff out, and we're going to check that shit out, and see if we got to order these. Hopefully I can get these from TRBRC bearings. And not have to pay the outrageous price that Losi charges for these frickin' things. Alright, we'll look into that. I pulled the shocks off just so we can get a general idea how these arms are doing to make sure, so we could check maybe it's got a bent pin or something, or it's full of dirt. Okay. So yeah, that should have just fell right down. These are good. Alright, so we're going to take these out so I can pull these arms out, and then we're going to pull this case off, disconnect this sway bar, all that good shit. Alright, let's get going. Yeah, change of plans. We're just going to drop this whole frickin' diff right off here. Alright, before we get this pulled off, let's go over these 8 bearings. We had 4 big ones, 4 little ones. Here they are right here. It's been a while. There's a video. I'll look it up and tell you what the number is. When I first rebuilt this thing, when Jimmy bought it, I don't know when it was. It had to be over a year ago. But anyway, let's check these out. This is one of the inside ones. There's just no grease or nothing left in it. It's just a free spinner. Another one. That one ain't too bad. That one's gone. But this one. That one ain't too bad. And that one's crunchy. You can actually see it falling apart here. Oh, shit. You don't see that? Oh, like some space age shit. Ain't a whole lot of bearings in there, man. Alright, so that one was kind of funky. And these blue ones, that means my ass was in there before. So I'd obviously have done something when I first got my hands on it and Jimmy bought it. These ain't too bad, but we're replacing all of them. It's time. These actually ain't too bad, but they got to go. All right, I'll look up that video number and tell you which one it is if you give a shit. I pulled the rear arms off. I think this one's bent in. One of these things are. This one moves pretty freely. It'll spin in there. This one you gotta push through. They are kind of wore. Not sure if I got arms. I'll have to look. No arms. I'm gonna look them up. Maybe just order a couple. This one's pretty bad. I mean, the pin doesn't even move. Look at it. I gotta push it through there. This one kind of just freestyles through there. I mean, it'll still work. It's good enough. We'll put it back together. It's fine. We'll clean it out a little more, see what we can do. Alright, instead of getting rid of my RAV4 and getting another vehicle to replace it, I just kept the RAV4. And I got a 2006 Infiniti G35 with 46,000 miles on it. This baby, I just out driving it. Man, this shit put a smile on my face. And that's hard to do. Interior pretty freaking clean, man. I mean, there ain't no rips, a little wear there on the seat, but hell, Jesus. The hell, this is nice. This exhaust a little loud. But I can live with that. This cost about the same as 9X Maxes. What would you rather have, 9X Maxes or this? This thing's clean. It has been hit in the front at some point in its life, but it's got new lights and new bumper and shit. So they did a decent job of the repair work. It's got staggered wheels. It'll catch second gear, and it's an automatic. All right, so let's get on with the other stuff. But I had to show you that. That was nice. I like that thing. All right, let's see if we can't get these bearings replaced. And I pulled the ones out of here that support this thing. These right here, these are kind of bad, so there's 2 more extra bearings that got to go in, plus the other ones. So I'm gonna put these back, the new ones in there, and put that back together, put the drive shaft back on, get that ready, and then we'll get this apart. You got to take the whole thing apart to get to the bearings, so fun stuff. I got the little bearing carriers off and the shims, and got these screws out. Yeah, you gotta take this apart to get these bearings off. Like I said, I've been in here before. I marked it somewhere in the video. but when Jimmy got this new about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that bearing was blown up. So let's see what they look like now. Got it in, put some new fluid in it, replace the bearings, put the shims back where they were, 2 on each side. I tried adjusting it, but it didn't need it. So everything looks good. Let's check these bearings out. See what we got going on here. Then, like I said, I've been in here before, so I had to replace these, at least one of them, because it was blown up when we got it. The one that was in there, I think it's this blue one. But yeah, these are all right. They're starting to get loose. They do got side wobble. But so both of them are gone. And I also replaced these two, because those weren't replaced last time. So 2 more bearings, so an extra 4 there. All right, I'm gonna slap this back, grease this up, put it back together, and put it back where it belongs, I think. All right, I did have to take it back apart and pull out the shims again. So instead of having 2 shims, I put 3 shims over here and 1 shim over there. So I pushed it away from the gear a little bit because it was binding. All right, I'm gonna put the arms back on, make sure they're moving free, and then get this shit back where it belongs. All right, we're gonna take these CVDs apart, clean them up, put them back together for him. Put the new bearings in here. We got the arms, so they're nice and flippity floppity now. So they're not binding anymore. Alright, so we're gonna get this shit back together. Alright, we got these CVDs all cleaned up. I guess I missed that one a little bit. But anyway, you'll notice these got 4 holes on them. There you go. A hole there, and then one on the opposite side, there. So whichever the ones gets worn, switch over to the next one that ain't so worn. Inside of these, they usually wear in this slot. That one looks alright. That one looks alright. I think the front ones are kind of worn. That one's kind of getting beat on. Nothing to cry about, it'll still work. Alright, I'm going to put this back together, get this shit done. Alright, I got shocks, everything back on. This shit's smooth as silk, man. Smooth as silk, Jimmy. So we're going to get this center diff off and check out these bearings, see how this bad boy is. I did have to put some diff fluid in here that was kind of low. Alright, got it out. Bearings are kind of iffy. We're already in there. Could probably use a little juice inside the diff too. So, alright, so we're probably going to replace these 2 bearings too. Too bad in there. It's dirty. There's some nasty oil, but there's oil in there. Alright, we're going to clean that out, put some fresh in, replace these frickin' bearings, and put this shit back together, put it back in, and head on to the front. Alright, center this in. Shit smooth, quiet, everything tight. Good to go. Just got to do the front. Only problem is I'm missing one of them edge bearings here. These were one of them was pretty free inside. So it was worn. Wasn't no grease or nothing left in there. The other one wasn't too bad, but it was on its way. So not bad. So I'm sure it's the same. It's these 2 going to have to be replaced, and then them 2 right there in the front. Coming off of this. Alright, see what we can do. Alright, last of the bearings came in. I needed 1 more. So I didn't do shit until I got the bearings in. Alright, so we're going to pull this front off. We're going to disconnect this brace. Servo's already disconnected. And then basically it's 4 screws there, and then these 2 screws here for the steering. Alright, let's pull that off and see what we got going on underneath here. Alright, got it off. Like I said, wasn't bad. Just 4 screws there and the 2 screws here. We're going to pull these out and check these bearings out too. But let's pull this diff apart first. Hold up a second. Yeah. That feels alright. Just feels a little dry up in there. I think you're greaseless, buddy. Alright, let's get these, what am I taking out here? These 2 and these 2, I believe, and the whole clip should come apart. And I might take them to the bottom without too. Alright. Yeah, she's pretty dry in there. Yeah, that's greaseless. Whatever is in there is gone. Like I said, I never took it apart the first time he got it. Let's see how these bearings are. Actually, they feel alright, but they're coming out. Yeah, it's a little low in there on the juice. Alright. Pull these hinge pins out, see how they are. That one looks alright. A little dirty in there, it needs to be cleaned out. Oh, this one's stuck. I'm gonna need some man tools to get that out. There it goes. Oh, that shit bent. You can see that shit. I think y'all can see that shit. You can see that shit. That shit bent. Put it next to something straight. There you go. You can see the gap right there in the middle. That shit bent. See if we can find Mr. Jimmy another one of these, since he's obviously running into shit that bends these. Alright, so let's find one. Alright, right off the bat I found one, so it's the same size, and it is straight, so I think we're good there. Alright, so let's get going on this, and yeah, we're gonna take that apart. Alright, I cleaned out these holes where the hinge pins go on the arms. You can see they're oblong. These bad boys need to be replaced here sooner or later. The back ones are oblong too, so basically both the arms, front and rear, gotta be replaced. They're good for now. And the CVDs are worn. They got about another year left in them, and that's it. So next year they'll probably need to be replaced, maybe. We'll have to see. But they're getting worn, especially these front ones. That one ain't bad. I thought I seen a bad one. Yeah, that one's a little worn. See how big that opening is? Yeah, I made a focus with my magic finger. Alright. So we're going to take this apart. Alright, let's open her up, see what we got in there. Yeah, there is goo in there. And it looks pretty clean. But we'll replace it anyway. The hell, we're in there. Okay, I'm going to take this the rest of the way apart. Basically all I got to do is, for this, just pull all these gears out. And then for this one, just back her out. Pull her off. Should be a little pin in there, right there, see it? Pull that out, and this thing drops right out. Then you can get the bearing off. Oh, the bearing is crunchy. So yeah, definitely replacement time. When you're cleaning these gears, use a toothbrush, man. Get that shit out. There might be stuff stuck in there, so just use a toothbrush and get everything out. Alright, I'm going to finish pulling this apart. See if we can... No, not going to come apart that way, is it? Brute force isn't going to work. Goddamn magnetic crap. Oh, it fell out. There it is. Turd it out on me. Maybe we can get this one out. Alright, get her cleaned up. I'm gonna fill her up with oil. Got the bearings off, the old ones, put new ones on. There wasn't no shims on this, so I gotta check it to see if it needs to be shimmed. Alright, let me get going on that, and then I'm gonna pull this one out and check and replace them bearings and tighten that up so it ain't got so much in and out. Alright, let me get going. Alright, first issue. Alright, watch this. I'm gonna hold that up because you guys see that? Watch how far. Watch this go in and out. Look at that. It's because this hole for this pin is so worn. And plus that thing's stuck on there. So let's see if we can get this shit apart. And I got the pin out. That out. Yeah, it's just, this hole is so big. I can just stick this thing right through it, all the way through. Then you go over here to this other hole, and it won't even go in it. So it's like, it's a lot bigger. So we're going to move over to this hole. That'll tighten this shit up. If we didn't wear this pin out, this pin looks pretty whooped. See if I got another pin. Because this one's pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. It doesn't look bad in here. This looks good. So, but problem is, that's stripped out a little hex. So I gotta drill the damn thing out. Oh god, I hate drilling shit out. Yeah, it's stripped. Stripped like a mofo. Alright, so let me get going on that. I gotta get these bearings out. They don't feel bad, but it's got to come out sooner or later. So I'm going to drill this out, get this thing off, and we'll see what we got going on in there. Alright, tried to find a replacement part for this, but they don't, this shit is this freaking continued. This thing was trashed anyway. Look at that big ass hole on their side there. So anyway, but I figured it out. So we're just going to put a dog bone in there. That'll work fine. We got the little rubber thing here. It goes on and holds it in there. So that's all brand new. So that should be better. So I just got to pull these out and see if these bearings in here are any good. But otherwise, everything should be good to go. So let me pull these out and get a look-see at them. And we'll take it from there. Alright. So these were kind of crusty. They would have been alright for another year maybe, but might as well switch them all out and then it's over with. So another 4. Alright, so I think we're done with this. Everything nice and smooth. Let's put this shit back together and get it back up on there. Alright, coming right along. Got her all hooked up. That front center drive shaft seems to be working just beautiful. So that's all in there. Everything nice and free. Everything nice and loose. And the reason this was all tight before up here in front was because of this screw. It was all bound up with dirt in here, so it wasn't letting it move. See how it's got a little bit of slop in there? So it wasn't letting it move, and that's what was holding it up. It was this, it wasn't these, even though this did have a bent pin in it. Alright, let me finish it up, and then we'll close this shit out. Okay, we'll give her a little test. You can hear she's already running. Sound pretty smooth. Doesn't look like a whole bunch of shit all bent. Everything seems to be... must have yep, that's still binding. That shit, what the fiddles. Alright, yay, done. Alright, so everything seems to work. Oh, let me turn it on and it might say work. So it's got a oh, that's the fire team, servo out of fire team. I think you can set that at 7.4. It's at 6 right now, so 200 some ounces, more than the one that was in there, and the other one was acting up, so I just said screw it. Threw this in there. Alright, so it's all good to go. Everything works. Tires ain't glued, so still gotta glue them. With brand new Crime Fighters. Nice set, brand new rims. His other shit was pretty weak, so this should be good. So let's turn this off, and there's everything we had to replace. Whoa. So, quite a lot. So it's basically laid out like it is on the Buggy. This is the front, that's the back. So these two are off of this, and then these are all the diff ones, center diff ones, steering ones, then the front diff ones, outer wheels, and bent ass hinge pin, and this thing that was froze up, which they don't make anymore, and it's hard to find. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But hey, it's fixed. I got it. Everything's good. Looks sweet. All right, Jimmy, your shit is done, bro. You owe me out a couple more bearings, but other than that, we straight. All right, so that's a lot. So we get these bearings for $1 a piece because I buy them so much. So this is like $22 in bearings. And you buy the Losi ones, it's going to be like $22 for 4 of these diff bearings. So if you're going to have your shit for a while and stick with a certain brand, then buy your bearings in bulk. It's cheaper. All right, till next time. Out.